Dutcha How, Washa Michael Larson, Washa Nima Depungu. Hello, everybody. This is Mike Larson from BBC IML, and this is A Moment with Mike. So, it's Independence Day. I've got a lot of people I know watching this. Say a hi out to Bruce and Troy and Scry and Chad and Diane and Jason. But everybody watching this from America right now on Independence Day, we can all be rest assured we won the lottery. We were born in the greatest country that was ever created. We get to do what we want. We get to go where we want. We most of the time get to say what we want. And right now, I am in the process of creating a company. Well, I had a company, but with what happened with the coronavirus, it changed a lot for me. But I have the ability, because I live in America, to change that, to do what I want to do, to change it into something that it wasn't before. And I spent 9 months in China, and China was fun. It was a good country, and it was actually better than I anticipated it would be. At least the part of China I was in, but it still wasn't America. And I learned that towards the end of it. It was far different, and decided to come back to America. I've still got my businesses over there, but came back to America because I wanted that freedom again. I wanted to have the choice to do what I wanted to do, to be what I wanted to be, and to create what I wanted to create. I believe that we are all created equal, and we are totally resourced to do anything we want to do. So it takes a country like this to take advantage of what everything is offered. All the people that put their hard work in to give us a country like this, and the people that fought for our country, our founding fathers. And I think about that this morning. I was out walking in the woods, and that's another thing. You get to walk in the woods whenever you want to. You get to do whatever you want to. But I was in the woods walking, and it actually turned into a run because the mosquitoes and the deer flies are so bad. I didn't want to wait around for them. But I learned about 7 years ago. I was way overweight. I weighed about 265 pounds, and I knew that I had to do something different about that because my health wasn't the greatest then. And I started eating well, and I was working out, and I was doing all that great stuff, and I kept on, but I wasn't getting to where I wanted to be. It was starting to get a little frustrating. I wasn't losing any weight. I was doing all this stuff where I wasn't losing any weight. And then I went to a conference for Tony Robbins, and I learned about actually eating properly. And, we talk about Independence Day again, and that's another thing I could do. I could decide to make that difference in my life. But I went to Tony Robbins, and I learned that eating obviously is important as anything else. And I thought I was eating the right foods, but it's a combination of them, plus the way I exercised. See, acids are a big part of issue in our bodies. When we eat the wrong foods, we create acids, and because we create acids, our bodies retain fluids and they retain fat to protect our cells. So when you eat carbs and proteins together, it creates acid. And then the way I was exercising on top of that was, you hear about these runners that run constantly, and some of them still have a heart attack. Now, that's probably genetics as much as anything, but it also could be the way they exercise. See, when you start off immediately working and exercising hard, because I was exercising, but I would hit it hard, and I'd never lose any weight. I'd get strong, but I'd never lose any weight. And I couldn't figure out why that was, but then I learned that if you exercise, you have to start off slow. When you start off slow, you teach your body that it doesn't have to have instant energy, and it'll burn fat instead of sugars. When you start off fast, it believes it needs instant energy, and the fastest way to energy is sugar. But when you burn sugar, it leaves a residue in your body which is acid. And then you retain fat, you retain fluid to protect your cells from that acid. And that's what I was doing. So I wasn't able to lose weight. And I had stomach problems, and I had migraine problems, and all kinds of issues. And I almost gave up on trying to make myself healthier. I mean, if this is the amount of work I had to go into to try and be healthy, and I still wasn't feeling any better, it didn't seem quite worth it. And then I read Tony Robbins, and one of the stories he had in there was about a guy that ran 1,000 miles in 11 days. 1,000 miles in 11 days. Think about that. That's 90 miles a day. Well, from here, I could drive to Duluth, which is 68 miles, and it takes me an hour, over an hour and 10 minutes at 60 miles per hour. He was running 90 miles per day. And he did it in 11 days, just remarkable. And at the end of every day, he was fine. He wasn't really that tired. He talked about it. He wasn't really that tired. At the end of that 11 days, he said he could have kept going on. And I'm thinking, well, geez, there's people that run marathons and collapse in a marathon. But his secret was that he started off slow. And he taught his body over time to burn fat instead of sugars. And when you burn fat, it's long-term energy. It's like a diesel engine. When you burn sugar, you run out of it and you crash. Even protein, when you burn protein, isn't as long-term as burning fats. And the way he ate was different too. He'd eat butters, he'd eat all kinds of fatty foods because he had taught his body how to burn fat, so it was just fuel to him. But I learned that, and now that I exercise properly, I eat the proper foods, it's changed my whole life. I don't get the migraines anymore. I don't have the stomach problems I used to have anymore. And it's easy for me to keep the weight off. I can easily get down to 180 pounds if I want to. Right now I'm comfortable at about 205. But that was something I learned, and thinking about Independence Day, and not everywhere in the world would they have all those options. First of all, do they have the option to eat the right foods? Second of all, do they have the option to exercise the way they want to, or have the opportunity to go someplace where they could exercise the way they want to? Do they have the option of even buying the right foods, of having a position, a job, of something that they control their own lives to be able to do all that? So, like I said in the beginning, this is the lottery. We all won the lottery. We were born in the greatest country in the world. And that's what we're celebrating tonight, is that we're in the greatest country in the world. We could do, say, and whatever we want to. And everybody should understand that. And we should all come together. And, we seem to find a lot of ways to argue with each other and to demonstrate against each other. And we were all born lucky. And we should, the focus, if we put as much energy into keeping this going, and creating a great life for ourselves as we do, and trying to decide how we're all different, imagine how good that would be. So once again, let's just treat this country like it's the greatest country ever, and we were lucky to be born here. I thank you for your time. I hope this finds you well. Have a super fantastic evening. If you like my message, I have this message every night at 7 o'clock. If you have a subject you'd like me to go over, email me at mike@inspiredmotivatedleadership.com, or just messenger me, or you can put messages right on here. I see that Lynn is on here, and Ma Kay, Avis. Hopefully I'm not massacring any of these names. I'm sure there's plenty of other people that are on that I don't see right now. But thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing some time with you. I really do appreciate that, because I know how valuable time is, and if you spend a little bit of your valuable time with me, what a great gift that is to me. So we will talk soon.